Hey YouTube, it's Harenik, and yes, this isn't a Guild Wars video. I'm actually going to do I guess a guide for how to use the Summoner's War Rune Optimizer. Um, yeah, so what is the Rune Optimizer? It's basically a rune optimizing tool with a database that you can use to find builds for your different units and your different monsters. Um, this is important because you could try to do your runing by hand. Once you accumulate many runes, it'll get more complicated depending on how you like to rune your monsters. So if you look on the screen, I have 1,271 runes over my inventory and over 413 monsters. When your inventory gets huge, it is going to be a pain, and the optimizer is the best way to find your sets for your PvE teams, your PvP teams, whatever, right? So what this guide is intended to be is a tutorial on how to find the best builds for the units that you deem are your most important units. And hopefully a way to give you an idea of how to leverage the functionality inside the optimizer. What this guide is not is a how to rune guide. This isn't a guide for how to build teams or which teams to use. This isn't a tutorial on how to set up the proxy. I assume that you can get your optimizer JSON file and you've already imported it into the optimizer. If you do need assistance with that, let me know in the comments and I can make a separate video. And this also is not an in-depth guide on how to navigate the optimizer itself. So I'm not going to show you how to find a rune in the rune page or to find your monsters, etc. I assume that. So goals for the video is to give you a better understanding of why the optimizer is a great tool, and I probably have repeated myself a lot already. Please forgive me. And also to provide you with the knowledge of how to leverage the optimizer to improve your teams, which will improve your experience in Summoner's War. So if you ask any of the Guardian or Conqueror or higher level players, the best advice that anyone can give is to farm better runes. And the wise man also says that you build teams and not units. The optimizer helps you build your teams if you use it correctly. So, gotta do a quick shout out actually. This is just gonna be a shout out to the guys who made the optimizer. So, the original Excel tool is made by, I might butcher your name, I'm sorry, Gui Toto. And then the web-based version is made by Redeemer40, so thank you both for this amazing tool. If you, my viewers, do have some bandwidth and you can make a donation, these guys have donated their time and their expertise to provide us with something that improves our enjoyment of the game. So if you can, please do. If not, that's okay as well. So yeah, what I'm gonna do in the video is I'm gonna rune a bunch of different monsters. I'll show you my thought process and how I rune them and why I choose the builds that I eventually choose. So I'm gonna do like a Veromos, Theomars, Elisa, and then I'm gonna do Kumar, and then of course the speed tuning of my AO. So that'll be at the end of the video. Probably not going to have time to find the times as to which section appears at what time, so apologies in advance. I don't know how long this video is going to be, and I'm going to do it in one take, so if I make any mistakes, if I stumble over my own words, we're just going to have to live with it because it's past midnight and I should probably be sleeping anyways, but I want to get this video up because it's rune removal on Saturday. So this is going to help hopefully the majority of you guys if you're trying to find out how you can get started. So I'm going to go to the optimizer tab here, and I'm going to pick my Veromos once I can find him. So let's say that you have a decent set of, say, violent runes, and you want to just make a Veromos that you're going to be using in your Giants B10 team, your Dragons B10. He'll be 6 stars, so you're probably going to have him in a starter's Guild Wars offense, probably your Guild Wars defense, depending on your guild. So yeah, I'm just going to choose Violent for his set 1. If you have good runes that are in sets, you can also select no broken sets to make sure the optimizer will pick a full offset for him. I'll do that. Actually, I won't do that because I might be able to get a really good build for him, right? So I'm gonna pick speed, HP for Veromos, and the reason that I'm gonna go through Veromos right now is because when you're runing your Veromos, he is probably your most important PvE unit. To be more successful in the game in the long run, you will want to give him your best runes. So to accomplish that with the optimizer, uncheck use only runes from inventory, and if you've used the optimizer and you've locked a few runes and you want to just get the absolute best runes on Veromos, use your locked runes as well. What I will do is I will use the focus, just because I don't want to generate all of the possible builds with all of my runes, just for sake of making the video faster. If you do want to just generate every possible combination of runes for yourself, you can press this go button, but I'm gonna focus on Veromos' speed, his HP, and we'll leave it with those two. So let's calculate these builds and wait till we get our results. So this might take a while. I don't know how long this will take. Okay, that wasn't bad. So I have 77,568 possible builds for Veromos on a violent, maybe broken set, maybe a full set. Sorry, just gonna grab some water. Excuse me. So, a couple of options here. If your runes aren't leveled and you want to see what Veromos' stats are going to be once you equip him with the runes, you can use the actual stats. What I like to do with all of my builds is go to the plus 15 stats so I know what to expect when I max all my runes on the monster. So inside the data tables I have these builds, and what I'm going to do is, because since I want a super fast Veromos, I'm going to filter by speed. So my highest speed on Veromos is 235. Let's say I'm comfortable with 180 speed for Veromos, and I want him to have at least, let's say, 22,000 HP for like my Giants or Dragons teams, okay? So I'll apply, and this will just filter the list a little bit. Okay, that's a very small amount, so just for sake of my runes, I'm going to put in slightly higher values here, so we actually have a smaller subset of runes to work with, and I'll show you why I like to use the filter. Okay, we're at 719. If I sort by max HP, I get like the highest HP I can get on Veromos with this set is 32k. So let's say I want to get builds with maybe 31,000 HP minimum, right? If you want to isolate it more, you can kind of compact it into like 31 to 33,000 HP. Maybe you don't want higher than 33k HP for some reason. I don't know. Your mileage may vary. So good. So I have 21 entries now, right? So what I like to do is I'll see what my highest stat value is for the stats that I'm trying to build for. So speed is 225, defense is going to be 1,123, and HP is going to be around what, 32k again? Yeah. So all of these stats are really good. So let's say I want to have there's a 985 defense in these builds. So let's say I want to get higher than 1,000 defense because I want my Veromos to be a little bit tankier, right? Let him take some extra hits. Cool, so now I have 18 entries, which is fine. Let's say I want an accurate Veromos, so my highest possible accuracy is 61, which is great. Maybe my tolerance for accuracy is 50%, so I'll put that in the filter and apply. Now I'm left with 8 builds, right? Now that I have a smaller subset, I can look at all of the stats more closely because there's less options for myself. And because I know the minimum speed is 220, let's just give him the most HP possible out of these builds. So this set, this top set, if I click it, and yes, I am using all of my runes, right? So in this case, I'm butchering monsters, but if I'm starting with my dungeons and I want to get the most bang for my buck so I can farm better runes, I will butcher these runes and put them on my Veromos. And there's nothing wrong with focusing your best runes on your dungeon teams. That's actually recommended. So let's say I'm going to equip these runes on Veromos. I equip them. And then I move on to rooting my next monster, right? So in this case, let's say I'm going to do a Bella. I'm not going to go through Bella, but I'll go through the same process. So Bella, maybe I do want Nemesis, choose this, clear my filters, and then go through the whole process again, right? Do that for your whole team. If it's your Giants team, do your Veromos, your Bella, your Bernard, your Shannon, and your number 5, right? I know that I said earlier that I wasn't gonna suggest teams, but that's the starter Giants team pretty much, so I use that as an example. So yeah, so Veromos is done, repeat the process for your other monsters, and then watch them win, because now you can auto Giants B10, right? Good. Last week, I pulled Theomars, and of course, everyone's all up in arms about Theo, right? Great damage, pretty tanky with his passive, high crit rate, so he has slightly lower rune requirements. So I gave Theomars runes that I had at the time. Now that it's free rune removal, maybe I can see if I have better options for him. So I do want him on Violent Revenge, and I do want to try speed, crit damage, attack build, right? That's the standard build. I'll focus on speed, attack, and crit damage just so I can focus on the crit damage, because Theomars' crit rate requirements are a little bit lower. If you use Theo as a crit lead, I think the minimum crit rate you need on him is 64%. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. If you just want him to have 100% crit all the time without a crit leader, you just need 85%. So I'll do my big generation of all my builds possible for Theo. Actually, never mind. I was going to abort it because I wanted to actually just use inventory runes, because I don't want to say I just want to see if I have better runes for him now, but I don't necessarily want to strip runes off of my other DPS that I'm attached to, right? So I'll regenerate these builds, and I still have 6,912 plus 15. So I want 85% crit rate for Theo, and I want 170 speed. If I look at nothing, where did that go? Let's make them again. Oh, I know why. I probably don't have that much speed, and that's okay, right? So if you get no results, you probably set one of your filters too high. So just keep going down until you can find something, and I could have averted that if I just looked over here. So highest crit rate I can get on Theo is 81%. It's not the best, but it's still better than what he currently has, which is 65%. So let's just choose from the 81% crit rate builds. And yes, I'm doing dragons right now, so I'm babysitting. Okay, so I only have 4 builds. Do I want the one with highest attack? Maybe because it also has the highest crit damage. Maybe I want him to have 6% more accuracy because I am a stickler for accuracy and want him to land those dots or something, or more importantly his defense break. This build gets 4 subset upgrades, so why don't I look inside and see where the upgrades are going to be. This rune is a +0, so this is going to still get all of its upgrades. Substat level ups is 4. So this rune could potentially be better, right? If I get an extra 4% crit rate on a roll, I meet my minimum 85% crit rate, which is awesome. Attack percent is always welcome as well, and I don't want defense. I don't want flat defense. Of course, we all know that it's probably going to happen, so you just got to plan for those kinds of things. It's still going to be a decent build, so sure. Let's equip and then go to the next monster. So I pulled Lisa on Monday from exclusive summon. She does have some runes on her, but I've been farming dragons religiously all week, so maybe I got something better for her, right? I am building her specifically for raids, so for raids you want to aim for your R5 stats. If you want frontline, 25k HP, 1.5k defense, but for your Lisa, your Konamiya, for any of your other cleansers, you want to have your resistance high enough to max it out with your resistance leader. So with Praha or Tessarion, you want 59%. With say your Diaz or your other 30% res leads, you're going to want 70%. So that is completely dependent on who you raid with primarily, who you may potentially be raiding with. If you don't have a group of buddies that you raid with, try to aim for the 70% in case no one has the larger resistance lead. So yes, I do want her Violent Nemesis. I do want her to have speed. Actually, let me go back, sorry. Not back like that. Look, it's a donut. What I was gonna show was I can go back to Theomars. I'll put him on Violent Revenge, and the previous build I had for him was speed, crit damage, attack. If you want to try a different build, let's say you don't want speed on slot 2 because you want to give him crazy attack, right? I will still use the focus. I will still go +15, and there's still a filter. So what's interesting is the build I previously had was, well, it was 162 speed. I could gain an extra 280-ish attack in exchange for 12 speed. So the optimizer is good for finding substats that you can't normally keep track of, right? The speed is only 12 difference, but the rune set is, like, I sacrificed the speed slot 2 rune for an attack rune, and my speed is almost the same. So if you're building monsters for, say, like a wombo combo or something, and if you want to go attack, crit damage, attack, and find your subs from speed, because you're just starting out with your wombo combo, that's totally an option, right? So yeah, just wanted to point that out. But for everything else, it's pretty much the same. So Lisa, I'll speed, and then I'll just blank out slot 4 and slot 6. We'll let the optimizer determine which primary stat the rune takes. So yes, I want speed. Sure, I want HP, and okay, I want defense as well. So I'm going to clear my filters, hit go, and then let it work its magic. Yeah, it is going to be very time consuming for a human being to create 33,792 builds in a matter of seconds. So Optimizer is awesome. Yes, yes it is. Okay, so if I look at my speeds, 217 is the max, but I want to focus on resistance. So let's sort by resistance. Actually, I don't need to. I'll just put in 59%. Let's apply and see what my fastest speed is. So I can get 199 speed max with minimum 59% resistance. So let's say that I can tolerate 190 speed. Let it think. Don't know why it's taking so long. Cool. It did do the filter. So a note that I want to give you guys is, yes, it's free rune removal. You've probably observed that the optimizer gets really congested. I'm actually running one of the downloaded copies of the optimizer on my MacBook, and I'm using it within my home. If you have the capacity to do that, I think there's a tutorial somewhere. Highly recommend. It also gives you the flexibility of optimizing whenever you want without having to wait or having the hourly reset. So anyways, so I have these builds. Let's see what I want my HP to be. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that I want at least 22,000 HP and let's say 900 defense. I'll just wait for this to finish processing and then I'll just filter. So if you are looking to rune up monsters for your raid teams, great way to find the stats that you need, and then it's just up to your personal decision of what you want to accept for stats, right? My Lisa obviously can't be a frontliner because I won't meet the defense requirements with the runes that I have. That's okay, I can still put her in the back line, make her really fast, make sure she has resistance and has decent HP, right? So is this working right now? Let's see what happens if I set this to 1,000. Something tells me it's not, so I'm going to refresh. It's still trying to refresh. Why don't I'm going to pause because I think I have to check something. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. My MacBook fell asleep because when it goes to sleep, the web server does not run. So, anyways, I believe I was looking at Lisa. Violet Nemesis, speed, wild cards, speed, HP, defense, 59 res, whoops, 2k HP. We'll go back to 900 defense, so. Good. So I still have 243 entries. Let's bump this to 1,000 and see what happens. There we go. So if I sort through here, this has a bit of accuracy, not a lot. It has close to 70% resistance, so this could even work with the Diaz or something, which is pretty good. It is a bit slow, but maybe my tolerance for speed is lower for some reason. So then go to the build, equip, and done. Yeah, that's Lisa. So I'll go down to Kumar, and his runes are really messed up right now. I'll show you. I got him, and I didn't necessarily have the violent runes for him, so I actually just gave him a triple set to get these stats. But it's Will Nemesis Revenge. I mean, you want your beast monks to be on violent, right? So let's see if half a week of violent rune farming gave me good runes to use. So let's give him speed, HP, and crit rate, and off to the races we go. Kind of. So almost 65,000 builds. I left everything wild card, so I have a ton of choices to choose from, right? He's a beast monk, so no, I don't think 24k HP is going to cut it. Let's say I want 35,000 HP plus 15. Okay, good. We're closer. So I can still get a 199 speed Kumar, which is pretty fast, right? Am I okay with 43% crit rate? Nope. 124 is too high. But let's lowball it and say I want 120 speed and minimum 60% crit rate. These aren't the stats I'm actually going to use on him. I'm just doing this for sake of demonstration, because he would not do a lot with this slowness and this non-damaginess. So minimum is right here. Can still get pretty decent HP on him, and lots of these builds are now just triple HP or whatever, right? So let's bump this up to, say I want to do 85% crit rate. Not bad. Let's say I want, can I do 140 speed? Which is decent beast monk speed, right? So I can. Great. Sure, I want a semi-fast Kumar with at least 35k HP. Max crit rate, which is great. Crit damage is a bit low, but crit rate's 100%, HP is decent. That's fine, right? This is a violent guard set, which maybe it'll give me another 100 H or 100 defense, which might be okay, but maybe not. So I bump this up to 150 and apply. 196 is okay. Crit damage. Let's say my minimum crit damage is 70%. Now I'm down to 21 builds. So with this, I can just find the fastest. So am I okay with these stats? This is the question you ask yourself, right? Am I satisfied with these stats? How will they fit into my team? Do I want this? Not really. But all these runes are in my inventory. The actual stats are here. When I plus 15, here are my final stats. Let's pretend I'm gonna take this set. I'm not actually gonna take it. So cool. Kumar's done. My fun bruiser, my new toy. I have runes for him. So free rune removal. Take all of his current runes. Give him these ones. See if I like it or not. And what's really good about the optimizer is that if you don't like the build you chose, you just go back into the optimizer and then you keep tweaking, right? That way you can make rune builds quicker, so you can test it for yourself and see if you like it or not. So that's Kumar. Yes, it was pretty quick or whatever, but this is what, the fourth monster that I've been, third monster I guess? No, the fourth one. So you probably get the idea. It's up to your personal choice and how you want to build your teams, but the optimizer just helps you do that faster. And you can pinpoint the stats you're going to get minus subset upgrades, so super valuable, highly recommended. And you probably already know that, and that's probably why you're watching the video. Do I want this rune? No. So speed tuning. You guys hear about wombo combos, you hear about trying to speed tune your AO. You could speed tune your AD by doing the same thing, as long as your attack bar buffer doesn't derp. You have no control over that, but the best thing you can do is to make sure that if they don't derp, that your team goes in the order that you want. So I'll go through my AO, and if you guys watch my stream, I have Tiana, so it makes things really easy for speed tuning. For sake of wombo combo, she's just on double shield and will. Her speed is only 182. I run a slower team because I want to let my opponent get their turn. If their Veromos is fast, I want him to waste his attack bar. Even if he tries to stun, he's not going to get a turn if he's on Nemesis. So my team is safer. So Tiana's there. Galleon is my level 40 Galleon is here. His speed is 176. I use Tyrone as my speed leader and as my lightly poke my opponent monster, depending on the situation. So really close to Galleon in speed. And then I have Amir. So here's Amir. My general advice for tuning your AO or your AD is, if you're using DPS, if you want them to deal the most damage possible in a wombo combo situation, you're going to want to maximize your damage stats. So your attack, your crit rate, your crit damage. Try to get your speed from subs. But why this is important is because if you want to speed tune your team, you have to look at the slowest monster on your potential team. So Amir is 139 speed. I also use Julie at 145. I showed you Tyrone. I use June, I have him as an option. And just because it's just how things worked out, I could use Leadley. He's still within that speed range. And what I'm going to show you is, I made a spreadsheet for myself. You can calculate your speeds however you want, but I actually made myself a spreadsheet that has my speeds for my monsters on it. I update this manually, of course. That's not the right one, it's this one. So what I have is I just have my monsters. I've already ordered this by speed. So I do have Bernard as a speed buffer, yes. I have Orion, and where's Tiana? Tiana's right here, right? So I fill in my base speeds, I fill in my tower bonus. So my tower is max, my speed tower is max, so it's a 15% bonus. Here I have the bonus speed that I get from my tower. The extra speed is the plus speed I get from my set. So if I just go back here to Tiana, she has plus 86 speed, which is what I have here inside of the table. So with those bonuses, because speed lead is constant, you still get a general idea of the order that you get, because the bonus speed is already calculated based on the ratio of the tower bonus. Increasing the tower or the percentage of speed bonus by whatever your speed lead is equivalent, because everyone else is getting the same boost. So my Tiana's total speed is 196.4. When you're ruining your wombo combo, for a 30% speed buff, I like to use 76% of their total speed. So my monsters on my wombo combo need to be at slowest 150 or 149.264 of of their total speed. So if you look on the chart, Amir, which I've highlighted here, is 154 speed. He falls into my acceptable range, so when Tiana uses her attack bar boost, Amir's gonna get his turn, and the only way I can get interrupted is with a faster monster like a Veromos on Nemesis runes when I do a big hit, right? So that's why I rune my team collectively slower. But more importantly, I can't get higher substats for speed than 154, so I just tune everyone to my slowest member of my team, which I mentioned earlier. So of course, if I wanted to use other monsters, I just put down monsters that I could use and just put them in the table. So my Tyrone is here, my Galleon is here, and yeah, as you know, my Tiana's up top. So when my team gets to move, Tiana goes first, she'll buff, my attack bar is going to get pushed over 100%, so I'm going to get the next turn on Galleon, because he's actually really close to Tiana. Tyrone is, I think this is 0.45 or point whatever speed apart from each other, so Galleon goes, Tyrone goes, and he has an attack buff, he has the AoE defense break, and of course Tiana cleanses the opposing team, so if they had a Chloe that used Fnatic, Fnatic is gone. If they had an Orion and Tiana doesn't get stunned, everyone is back to square one, right? Except my team also has their turn in priority, so Tiana goes, Galleon goes, Tyrone goes, and because Amir is speed tuned, and if I counter their Nemesis runes, he gets to go, and that's how the whole wombo combo goes through, right? So if you're using the Optimizer, what you do is you basically find your slowest DPS, you find their speed, and then from there you calculate the maximum speed you can have for your attack bar buffer. So if it's Bernard, my Bernard's gonna need 216 speed, so what I could do if I don't have a fast enough team with Bernard is do like a Megan and Bernard. So my Megan is 224, and she falls inside of this range, which is fine, and then Megan's a 20% attack bar buff, so I go 84% of her speed, which is 188, so then I just find my next guys. That's for like a different team. You could do that for like a Doublelution or something, but I'm just, if you're using double attack bar buffers, just match this, match this. Actually, this might be lower because you still get 30% here, plus another 20%, so never mind what I just said, sorry. What I did put here is the non-bonus speed column, and this is basically base speed plus extra speed, and this is just, we go back to, close this for a second, if you go over here, the speed in the rightmost column is just the speed that you see here. So when I'm building my teams and I'm picking my stats, I will aim to have my stat in that range. So Tiana was, let's say 150, I'll make sure my minimum speed is 150, right? So technically any of these Kumars can be in the wombo combo, but I would probably want to make him crit damage, right? That's just the speed tuning example. So yeah, I think that's about it. If there is anything else that you guys want me to go in more detail about or to cover in a future video, please let me know in the comments. If it's a quick question or something, my Twitch stream link is, I think, somewhere in my channel description or something. I'll put it into the description of the video. My hours are posted on Twitch if you have a quick question, drop by. We can set you up. We can help you out, get you on your way. So yeah, I think that's it. So thanks guys for watching the video. If you like it, like it. If you want to say something, comment. If you want more content from me, subscribe button would be appreciated. Drop by my Twitch stream as well. So many ways to contact me. So if you do have any further questions, if you do want specific advice, yes, I do reviews on my stream. Yeah, I think that is really it for now. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.